Hey guys, welcome back. Let's talk about how to create a SQL database in Azure. Not a SQL server inside of a Windows server, but a standalone Azure SQL database. This is important because with the Azure SQL database, you don't have to manage the operating system. You just go directly to the database. So just to understand what we're going to do, we're going to create the Azure SQL database, and we're going to see how to connect to SQL Server Management Studio once it's done. To get started, go into the Azure portal, click the plus button. You can see here it says SQL Database. Go ahead and click Create. And as always, you got to give it a resource group name and then a database name. Next thing we're going to do is give it a server name. For the authentication method, you have a few different options. We're going to go with the SQL authentication option, and we'll give it a username and a password. Click OK. And now we're going to go back to the main page. For the workload environment, we'll select development. And for the compute and storage, we'll select the configure database option. And this is going to allow us to select the service tier. I'm going to go with the basic tier, which is for less demanding workload. This gives us about 2 GB of storage, and that's pretty good for this demonstration. You can select different tiers based on your use case, but this is what we're going with. Once you've selected it, go ahead and press OK. You can see at the bottom we have a summary of the cost, which comes out to be $4.90 a month. Select Review and Create. This will bring us to the summary page. Go ahead and select Create. It'll take a few minutes to create this, and we'll pick up once it's done. Now that this is done, we'll go to the resource group. And in the resource group, you should see we have a SQL database and a server. Go ahead and select the SQL database. This is where we see all the different configuration options for this database. We're going to go ahead and select the server name. And I have SQL Server Management Studio opened up. And we use this to connect to this newly created SQL database. Go ahead and paste the name. Select the authentication type as SQL authentication. Type in your username and password and hit connect. Oops, we got an error. This error is letting us know that we have some connectivity issues. You have a couple of options here. You can go into the portal and put in your IP address into the firewall rule. Or typically, if you try again, you might get this option to sign in. Signing in will allow you to add your IP address to the firewall rule of the database. We'll go ahead and sign in. And once it's done, we'll press OK. And we should be good to go. And as you can see, we're now logged into this Azure SQL database. This brings us to the end of this video. Hope you now understand how to quickly create an Azure SQL database. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment, like this video, share it with someone that's looking to create an Azure SQL database, and I'll see you in the next video.